As one of the most dominant forces in Formula One, Mercedes have achieved an almost mythical status in the world of motorsport. But behind the glitz and glamour of their recent domination lies a fascinating and tumultuous history full of twists, turns and triumphs. From humble beginnings to record-breaking success, Mercedes have seen it all in the world of F1. So stay tuned as we take a look at the incredible history of Mercedes. Mercedes' love affair with motorsports began before the phrase motor racing was even coined. In 1926, the renowned German industrial machine production company Benz & Company Rheinische Gas Motoren Fabrik Benz & Company joined forces with the engineering genius of Daimler Motoren Gesellschaft DMG to create a new company named Daimler-Benz, which is known as Daimler AG today. The two companies had a history in motor racing before their partnership. Benz had motorsport roots that could be traced all the way back to the first ever motor race, the 1894 Paris-Rouen, where a Benz vehicle driven by Émile Roger finished 14th. DMG's contribution to the racing world began in 1902 with the Mercedes Simplex, which dominated racing before the First World War. Benz continued to thrive in motor racing throughout the 1910s with the Blitzen Benz and the Benz Tropfenwagen in the 1920s. However, as the 1920s drew to a close, Benz & Company was in dire financial straits, which led to the historic merger with DMG and the birth of Daimler-Benz. During the 1930s, Daimler-Benz and its Mercedes-Benz Silver Arrows dominated Europe's Grand Prix racing scene. Under the leadership of the legendary team manager Alfred Neubauer, Mercedes-Benz and its main rival, Auto Union, won all European Grand Prix championships from 1934 until their withdrawal from racing in 1939, just prior to the outbreak of the Second World War. Throughout this era, they produced many legendary cars, such as the Mercedes-Benz W25, which reigned supreme from 1934 to 1936, followed by the W125 in 1937. Then came the W154 in 1938 and the W165 in 1939. These magnificent machines were the stuff of dreams, and the drivers who got behind the wheel of these beasts knew they were in for an unforgettable ride. After 14 long years of absence, Mercedes-Benz made a triumphant return to Grand Prix racing in 1954 with a groundbreaking machine, the W196. Led by legendary team manager Alfred Neubauer, the German outfit recruited the 1951 world champion Juan Manuel Fangio from Maserati just in time for their debut at the 1954 French Grand Prix. The result was nothing short of spectacular, as Mercedes clinched a 1-2 victory, with Fangio and Carl Kling crossing the finish line in first and second place respectively. Even more impressive, Hans Hermann recorded the fastest lap of the race. Mercedes went on to dominate the rest of the season, with Fangio taking the Drivers' Championship, scoring 4 pole positions and 4 victories for the Silver Arrows. It was a stunning comeback for Mercedes-Benz. The 1955 season was Mercedes' first full Formula One season. Mercedes stepped into the season with an impressive lineup of drivers, including Juan Manuel Fangio and Stirling Moss. Their car, an updated version of the previous year's Mercedes-Benz W196, proved to be a force to be reckoned with, as the team dominated the season with 4 pole positions and 5 wins out of 7 races. Fangio clinched the Drivers' Championship for the team, with Moss finishing second in the standings. But tragedy struck during the 24 Hours of Le Mans race in June of that year. Mercedes driver Pierre Levey was involved in a catastrophic crash that sent debris flying into the crowd, resulting in over 80 deaths. It profoundly impacted Mercedes-Benz. They were forced to confront the human cost of its pursuit of glory on the track. After much reflection, Daimler-Benz made the difficult decision to withdraw from motorsport at the end of the season. The company recognized that the risks associated with racing were simply too great, and that the immense expense and effort needed to maintain its racing operations could be put to better use elsewhere. The Mercedes name will not return to Formula One until 1994. In 1994, Mercedes-Benz made its long-awaited return to the world of Formula One by acquiring a stake in an independent British engine manufacturer known as Ilmor. The move proved to be a successful one, with Daimler-Benz increasing its share in Ilmor to 55% in 2002 before becoming the sole owner in 2005. The company was immediately renamed Mercedes-Benz High Performance Engines, and it wasted no time in establishing itself as a dominant force in the sport. In 2011, it was rebranded once more as Mercedes-AMG High Performance Powertrains. Today, the factory remains a vital hub of engineering excellence, located in the town of Brixworth, Northamptonshire. In 1994, Mercedes supplied its engines to Sauber, but a year later, Mercedes struck up a partnership with the McLaren team, which would prove to be a match made in F1 heaven. As the sole engine supplier for the team, Mercedes not only provided the power to McLaren's cars, but they also acquired a 40% stake in the team, making them a de facto works team. The result speaks for themselves. From 1995 to 2014, the McLaren-Mercedes partnership won 78 races and 4 World Championships, including Lewis Hamilton's first World Championship in 2008. In 2009, Mercedes-Benz proved that it was not just a powerhouse in engine manufacturing, but also had what it took to compete on the track as a full works team. After supplying engines to Brawn GP, the team that emerged victorious in the 2009 season, Mercedes decided to take matters into their own hands and acquire the majority stake in the team. This acquisition marked the beginning of a new era for the German automaker, as they would soon enter the 2010 season as a full works team for the first time since 1955. The team was rebranded as Mercedes GP Petronas Formula One team, and Ross Brawn continued as team principal. Wanting to start the first season of Mercedes' return to Formula One in a big way, Brawn lured his former collaborator, 7-time world champion Michael Schumacher, back to Formula One. The 7-time world champion returned to the grid, eager to show that he still had what it took to win races. Alongside Schumacher was his fellow countryman Nico Rosberg, forming an all-German dream team for Mercedes. However, the season proved to be a challenging one for the new Mercedes works team. Despite their top-notch engineering and driver lineup, the MGP W01 struggled to find its footing on the track. While Rosberg managed to achieve 3 podium finishes, Schumacher failed to make it to the top 3 throughout the entire season. But even though the team failed to achieve the results they had hoped for, their return to the sport was still met with great enthusiasm and excitement from fans and media alike. After all, who could resist the allure of a comeback story featuring one of the greatest drivers in F1 history? After a difficult first year back in F1, Mercedes had high hopes for the 2011 season. With Schumacher and Rosberg at the wheel of the new Mercedes MGP W02, the team was ready to take on the competition. However, things didn't go exactly as planned. Schumacher struggled to get back up to speed, while Rosberg faced stiff competition from his rivals. Now, despite these challenges, the team managed to score points in nearly every race. Schumacher's 4th place finish in Canada was a highlight of the season, and ultimately Mercedes finished 4th in the Constructors' Championship, which was a solid result, considering the tough competition from Red Bull, McLaren and Ferrari. Although the 2011 season wasn't a championship winning year for Mercedes, it was a valuable learning experience. The team gained important insights that would help them improve their performance in the years to come. And with Schumacher and Rosberg behind the wheel, Mercedes had a driver lineup that was second to none. Fans around the world eagerly awaited the start of the 2012 season, wondering if Mercedes would be able to take the fight to the top teams. In 2012, the team's name was changed to Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team in order to promote AMG, Daimler's AG's high-performance brand. The driver lineup again consisted of Rosberg and Schumacher, while the new car, the Mercedes F1 W03, attracted some controversy. Several teams protested Mercedes' radical rear-wing design, but the FIA unanimously rejected the complaint. Nico Rosberg's victory at the 2012 Chinese Grand Prix was a monumental moment for Mercedes. Not only did it mark the team's first win as a work squad since the days of Juan Manuel Fangio, but it also showcased their innovative engineering of the Mercedes F1 W03. With a unique double DRS wing system, the car was a true testament to the team's creativity and technical prowess. However, the rest of the season proved to be a roller coaster ride for the team, with their pace fluctuating and podiums proving elusive. At the end of 2012, Michael Schumacher decided to end his Formula One career, and 2008 F1 champion Lewis Hamilton was announced as Mercedes' new driver. Nico Rosberg remained with the team. In 2013, the Mercedes F1 W04 was a car with a split personality. On one hand, it was inherently quick, but on the other, it was hard on its tyres. Despite this, the car managed to secure 4 consecutive poles, which was a great achievement. Eventually, the car delivered Mercedes' first win of the season at the prestigious Monaco Grand Prix with Nico Rosberg at the wheel. The win was a breakthrough moment for the team, and they followed it up with victories in Great Britain, again with Rosberg, and Hungary with Hamilton. However, in the later stages of the season, the team struggled to keep up with the relentless pace of Red Bull and had to settle for a second-place finish overall. In 2014, Mercedes brought their A game to the track. It was a season of firsts for the team with the introduction of hybrid engines, and the team took it all in their stride, winning a record-breaking 16 out of 19 races. With 11 1-2 finishes, they not only secured their maiden Constructors' crown with 3 rounds to spare, but Lewis Hamilton also claimed the driver's title, becoming the first driver since the legendary Juan Manuel Fangio in the 1950s to do so in a Mercedes. It was a year of pure excellence for the team, and they proved to be unstoppable on the track, leaving their competitors in their wake. After their record-breaking performance in 2014, many wondered whether Mercedes would be able to replicate their success in the following season. But the team proved all doubters wrong and showed that their dominance was no fluke. In 2015, they once again hit the ground running and showed the world that they were still the team to beat. They dominated the season with their W06 hybrid, triumphing in a staggering 16 out of 19 rounds, making their 2014 record-breaking performance seem almost ordinary. The team's 12 1-2 finishes were nothing short of remarkable, demonstrating their sheer dominance on the track. In 2016, Mercedes continued their reign of dominance, winning 19 of the 21 races in the season and cementing their status as one of the greatest teams in the history of Formula One. However, this year, it was not Lewis Hamilton who secured the championship title, but his teammate Nico Rosberg, in what can only be described as a season-long battle for supremacy between the two drivers. After securing the title, Rosberg sent shockwaves through the F1 world by announcing his immediate retirement from the sport, leaving the Mercedes team with a gaping hole to fill for the following season. It was a sudden and unexpected move that left the team scrambling to find a suitable replacement and marked the end of an era for both the team and the sport. In the end, Finnish driver Valtteri Bottas was recruited from Williams to partner Lewis Hamilton in the new Mercedes AMG F1 W08 EQ Power Plus. Mercedes faced a fierce fight from Ferrari in 2017, but the German team's W08 car proved to be a bit of a diva. Despite the challenges, Hamilton stepped up as the team's leader following Rosberg's departure, and with new teammate Valtteri Bottas on board, led Mercedes to their 4th consecutive championship double. Bottas showed his strength by scoring his first 3 race wins, making it clear that he was not just a sidekick to Hamilton. The 2018 season was all about Lewis Hamilton, as he took the F1 world by storm with 11 sensational victories. Despite facing stiff competition from Ferrari, Mercedes once again emerged as champions, extending their incredible winning streak to 5 consecutive championship doubles. However, while Hamilton was busy collecting trophies, poor Valtteri Bottas was forced to play second fiddle to his teammate and act as the ultimate rear gunner. It's not easy being the wingman to a driver in unstoppable form, but Bottas kept his chin up and soldiered on. In 2019, Mercedes once again secured their 6th consecutive championship double. The team kicked off the season with an impressive 5 1-2 victories, setting the tone for the rest of the year. Despite facing fierce competition from Ferrari, Mercedes won 15 out of 21 races, with Valtteri Bottas elevating his performance and pushing Lewis Hamilton to his limit. Hamilton, however, remained focused on winning his 6th driver's title and worked hard to achieve it. It was a season full of successes for the Silver Arrows, further cementing their position as the team to beat. And just when you think they can't get any better, Mercedes, notably Lewis Hamilton, stepped up another gear in 2020. Despite missing a round because he tested positive for COVID-19, the reigning champion won 11 races and smashed records en route to a Schumacher equaling 7th driver's title. Add 2 wins for Valtteri Bottas and it was another dominant double crown for the Silver Arrows. After a year of total domination in 2020, Mercedes faced their toughest challenge yet in 2021. The team had set the bar high the previous season, breaking records and leaving their rivals in the dust. But with a determined Max Verstappen and fierce competition, Mercedes had to dig deep to maintain their winning streak. Although Lewis Hamilton won an impressive 8 races, it wasn't enough to hold on to his driver's crown, leaving the 7-time champion disappointed. The team showed their resilience, however, and managed to hold on to the Constructors' title by the narrowest of margins. The 2022 season of F1 witnessed a major shake-up in the pecking order as radical rule changes took effect. Unfortunately for Mercedes, their W13 car failed to hit the mark, leaving them playing catch-up to Red Bull and Ferrari. Despite their struggles, newcomer George Russell emerged as a bright spot for the team, securing their only victory of the season. To add insult to injury, Lewis Hamilton, who had been dominant in previous years, failed to win a single race, marking the first winless season of his F1 career. It was a tough year for Mercedes. Many believe that Mercedes will return to their winning ways when the 2023 F1 season starts. However, it remains to be seen whether it will be another time of struggle for the Silver Arrows. And there you have it, the history of Mercedes. Now we want to hear from you. Will Mercedes regain their dominance in 2023? Let us know in the comments down below.